Dear parents and guests, I, on behalf of JPA Toddlers World School, extend a very warm welcome to everyone. We have always endeavored to guide and support the parents whenever they have looked up to us for much needed advice in order to bring up their children in a balanced manner. We at JPA Toddlers World School realize that the parents of today need guidance and orientation all the more due to these turbulent times which we are all going through. We have been in touch with our students through online educational activities, especially prepared by our teachers. Today's webinar has been organized by our school to strengthen the resolve of parents to steer and nurture their children in the right direction. The speaker of today's webinar is Mr. Vivek Atray. He has been DC Panchkula and is currently an author and a motivational speaker. He would speak on the topic, the role of parents in current times. We are sure you will benefit from it. And now, before I hand over to Mr. Atray, a very happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Over to Mr. Atray.
Hello everyone, good afternoon and very happy Mother's Day to all. This is a special webinar which the school has organized, JPA Toddlers World School, Sector 10, Panchkula, for parents of young children, especially young children, but all parents. And since I have been asked to speak on the topic, the role of parents in current times, let me start by saying that either you are a parent today or you're likely to be a parent when you grow older. Most people are parents. Even if you are not a parent, you are kind of a leader for someone. Young children often look up to us. Young children and even youngsters who have grown older in their maybe early 20s, when we are older than them, they look up to us. And if we are parents, we have children, then all the more reason for us to know a few things as to how to handle crises. And crises, they come and go. काफी मुश्किलें आती हैं और चली जाती हैं, और ये मुश्किलें हमेशा नहीं रहती. We will talk about this particular virus which is there at the moment for a little while. There is a crisis, there is a lockdown, and gradually that lockdown will be lifted. And gradually we will all go back to doing what we know best, normal lives. So what should we do in this time when we are preparing for life ahead as parents? Of course, you are all very wise and intelligent to know what you should do in your personal life and career. But what should you do as parents? And it is very, very important to know that it is also a fact that parents of young children, they are more at stress, because young children are those who hear things from their parents. They often find that something is wrong, something is, to be said right. And what happens is that often these children, they hear stressful things. They hear tension-full statements. And what happens with these tense statements is that then the children also sense that something is really wrong. And young children's minds are very pliable. उन पे बहुत इम्पैक्ट होता है जो हम बात करते हैं उसका, और ऐसा इम्पैक्ट होता है कि बहुत असर होता है उन पे, हमारी हर बात पे, हमारे हर लहजे का, हमारे स्टाइल का, और हम टेंशन में बात कर रहे हैं या हम रिलैक्स वे में बात कर रहे हैं उसका भी. तो क्या होता है कि हमें क्या करना है कि हम थोड़ा सा बच्चों के सामने, सबसे पहली बात है कि अगर हम टेंस हैं भी तो वो टेंशन हम दिखाएं ना. उस टेंशन को थोड़ा सा हमें बचा के रखना है, अपने अंदर ही छुपा के रखना है. Because what happens is that we are often prone to displaying our anger in front of little ones, in front of those who should not be listening. And it is natural. We are human. We make mistakes. We shout at times. We feel worried at times. We feel scared at times and fearful at times. But it is necessary that we calm down and especially retain our control when we are talking of for young children, in front of young children. So young children are those who are a little more, let us say, let us talk about the children in the age group of even 3 upwards, 3 to 10. If we talk of children of 3 to 10, they are the most impressionable. These are the years which will make their character and even their destiny. And the kinds of crisis that they undergo are not so much impacting the children. They are impacting the parents at that age more, because the parents have to look after those children. When children are beyond the age of 10 or 12, and even in their teenagers or in their 20s, then they are grown up enough to face the crisis on their own to a large extent, even though parents have to look after their teenagers, but they make their own impressions at that time. They hear from their friends, they hear from social media after the age of 10 or 12. They are more pliable to information from outside. Whereas the toddlers, 3, 4, 5 years old, 6, 7 years old, growing up to little young boys and girls till the age of 10, they are really, really susceptible. So I would urge you to shun negativity in front of the children especially. कोई नेगेटिव बात बच्चों के सामने करना जरूरी नहीं होता है. तो हम अगर आपस में भी बात कर रहे हैं कि देखो ये क्या हो रहा है देश में, ये कैसे हो गया, वो कैसे हो गया, इतने लोग मर गए, फलाना हो गया, बच्चों के सामने ना करें. और टीवी भी ऐसा देखें जो बच्चों के ऊपर असर जिसका गलत ना हो, सही हो. टीवी पे बहुत सी अच्छी चीजें भी होती हैं, नेशनल ज्योग्राफिक होता है. न्यूज मत देखें ज्यादा. I am one who emphasizes the point, don't watch the TV news beyond a point. The TV news will make you feel sullen and sad and depressed and low and not feeling up to tackling the challenges of life. These challenges come for us, and we ourselves as grown-ups face them with a lot of mixed bags. So some of us are able to handle these challenges. Others have to really, really struggle to handle them, because they are susceptible to negative information. And if we pass on this negative information in front of children, then they will not really grow up in a wholesome manner. So try and minimize the conversation which is full of a little bit of negativity in front of children especially. The second point I'd like to talk about is that parents have to be examples. And parents being examples mean that if you want your child to adopt a certain quality of hard work, then parents have to be seen doing hard work. Of course, parents work hard nowadays. They hardly have time to sit down. But most of us also spend a lot of time on social media. We can try and restrict our social media. Maybe the habit of spending 45 minutes outdoors can be inculcated in our lives as well as in the children's lives. It has been seen that these children are often lying awake till late at night, teenagers especially, because they haven't tired themselves out physically. If they tire themselves out physically, then you will understand that they will go to sleep on time. And that only a sports person knows, or someone who's regular with fitness activities. So it is very, very extremely important for parents also to adopt that habit of physical exercise. And whatever time or whatever space you have nowadays in the lockdown, even in a balcony or at home, whatever physical activity can be done must be done. Later, go back to your walks, and your even walks have been allowed in certain places now. But whatever you can do, please do that as physical exercise, and try to get the children also to adopt that example. A couple of things that I often say in school functions or wherever I'm invited to speak, and JPA Toddlers World School is a school which has invited me to speak today. But this crossing of red lights is something which parents do, and teenagers are sitting in the car. They are going to start driving in about 3 years or 4 years or 2 years. And when they become 18 years old, the parents tell them, "Beta, don't cross the red light. Red light pe dhyan se ruko." If they have seen you crossing the red light, I'm being very blunt. I've been saying this for years. If you cross the red light, they will cross the red light. They will not listen to you. And this is something you must know. If we make statements as parents, I'm also a parent. My daughters are grown up now. But while they were growing up, if I made a statement that tell so and so I'm not at home when I'm at home. It is something that we should not do. बेटे उनको बोलो घर पे नहीं है, या बेटे ये करो, ये उनको बोलो, ऐसे बोल दो, उनको बहाना बना लो. This kind of attitude, I must say, in society has to be kept away. Let us again focus on this particular time. What is our example that we are giving to the kids? ठीक है, हमने negative बात नहीं करनी है. We are to spread positivity among the children. But what are we doing with our day? Are we trying to work hard in the house? Are we trying to be creative and read that book which we couldn't read? Or are we trying to learn some music or something that we could not learn earlier? We can also encourage children to be involved in creative activities. Of course, the next point is that most of these children are now undergoing online classes, especially children which are grown up a little bit in junior school or middle school or high school. They are undergoing online classes, and parents are also undergoing online classes with them because they're sitting down in the classes. And let me tell you, I've been speaking a lot to teachers nowadays, webinars of various schools. And these teachers are quite under stress because the parents are watching their classes. And in the school, that doesn't happen. The children are there and the teacher is there. Here, the parents are there in the online classes. So it is important for parents to make sure that they are not overpowering the presence of the child by their own presence. यानी कि हम अगर बैठे हैं बच्चे की ऑनलाइन क्लास में, तो बच्चा भी डिफरेंटली बिहेव कर रहा है और पेरेंट के सामने वो कुछ और कर रहा है. जब वो क्लास में होता है टीचर के साथ, तो उसका कॉन्डक्ट बिहेवियर कुछ और होता है. तो इसलिए हमें क्या करना है कि थोड़ा सा अपना जो प्रेजेंस है उसको मिनिमाइज करना है. आप देख लीजिए कि आपका बच्चा ऑनलाइन क्लास अटेंड कर रहा है, but there is no need to be sitting in the class throughout the class. I think that is a little too much, being too much indulgent with the child. Ultimately, these children will be back at school. And when they are back at school and running around with other children and in the classroom atmosphere, that is how they will grow. और जो लोग सोचते हैं कि हम हमेशा ही मास्क पहनेंगे और हमेशा फिजिकल डिस्टेंसिंग करेंगे, सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग का टर्म आजकल खत्म हो गया है, फिजिकल डिस्टेंसिंग की बात दोबारा आई है, गवर्नमेंट ने भी डिक्लेयर किया है. तो फिजिकल डिस्टेंसिंग हमेशा नहीं रह सकती. बच्चे जब ग्रो करते हैं, फुटबॉल भी खेलेंगे और असेंबली में भी जाएंगे और स्कूल में लाइन में भी लगेंगे, पानी पीने की लाइन में भी लगेंगे. So it is very, very important for us to understand, once the virus is over, once the government allows, once the health parameters are back to normal, then we should allow our children to flourish, to do what they have to do without being overbearing in their lives. So parents can do very well to retain a balance. And that balance means that you are, of course, guiding and advising and encouraging the children, but you're not adding to their stress. Let us talk for a minute about children who are in class 9, 10, 11, or 12. These are the children who are known to be in the maximum stress globally, all over the world. And these children are often into depression also. Some of them may even be watching this telecast. I would advise these children, life is a big journey. It is not only about marks. Your parents and your teachers may tell you that it is only about marks, but I am your friend, I am telling you, life is not only about marks. Life is about working hard, trying to get as many marks as you can, but becoming an all-rounder, trying to have creative habits, trying to be able to talk comfortably with others, with conversation skills, emotional intelligence, and the ability to empathize with others. So parents, if they don't overstress their children into becoming pressurized and terrorized even of the fear of exams and competitions, they will do well to not do that. They will do better. Parents will do well to encourage their children to work hard, to give their best, but not scare them to bits. अगर तुम्हारा ये नहीं हुआ तो फिर आगे क्या होगा? जीवन खराब हो जाएगा, बर्बाद हो जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं होता है. ऐसा मत बोलिए उनको. और बच्चों को हमेशा कंस्ट्रक्टिव एनकरेजमेंट. लेट द चाइल्ड बिकम अ कामली कॉन्फिडेंट पर्सन. और वैसे भी आज मदर्स डे तो है ही, आज एक ग्रेट सेंट का भी बर्थ एनिवर्सरी है. स्वामी श्री युक्तेश्वर जी, हु वाज अ गुरु ऑफ परमहंसा योगानंदा. And I have the book here. Paramahansa Yogananda ji wrote Autobiography of a Yogi, which is a very famous global book. And his guru, Swami Shri Yukteswar ji, said that only constructive suggestions should reach the ears of children. Positive and constructive inputs. What does that mean? It means कि हम उनको encourage करें. Critic होना बहुत आसान होता है. I speak to a lot of adults, grown-ups, corporates, government officers, academicians, teachers. I often tell them, why spend time complaining, criticizing? किस लिए? और बच्चों के सामने या बच्चों को करना और भी गलत है. मैं एक स्कूल की असेंबली में गया था, एक बार कुछ फंक्शन था. वहां पे एक लड़का खड़ा होता है, वो बोलता है, सर मेरे पेरेंट्स मुझे कंपेयर करते रहते हैं दूसरों के साथ. ये बहुत गंभीर बात है अगर हम ओवरडू करते हैं इसको. यंग एज से, इवन अ 5-year-old चाइल्ड, if you start comparing that child with the children of others, then that child will develop a complex of inferiority, and you will find that that child doesn't have the confidence which he or she should have. So let us not compare them too much. Each child is unique. Each child has his own personality. Each child has to undergo his own journey. Each human being has to do that. So why don't we encourage them by saying, do your best and find your path. Everyone is different. We should not impose our ideas as parents upon them. We should not say that ye tumhe karna hi padega. Let them be given constructive suggestions. Let them be guided and advised. If suddenly your child comes to you and says, Mama, Papa, I want to learn music, you'll be surprised because he's not shown any inclination till now. But if he is or she is, encourage the child. Get the child into that stream which he or she likes. At least the co-curricular activity or the hobby or the creative habit should be something which the child loves. And of course, it is said that if you choose a career that you love, then you don't work a single day in your life. इसका मतलब है हमें उनको यही इनपुट्स देने हैं जो उनके लिए अच्छे हैं, क्रिएटिव हैं, कंस्ट्रक्टिव हैं, एंकरेजिंग. बच्चों को ज्यादा कंपेयर नहीं करना दूसरे से, ज्यादा उनके ऊपर प्रेशर नहीं डालना है. और पेरेंट्स जो हैं उनका कम्युनिकेशन गैप भी हो जाता है कई बार बच्चों के साथ. इवन अ 10-year-old child who is not talking much to the parents, or a 12-year-old child, 14-year-old child, 16-year-old, it is a problem. We have to ensure that they are in communication with each other. And parents are equally responsible as children are. We cannot say कि ये तो मेरे से बात नहीं करता है, ये तो अपने रूम में बंद हो जाता है, ये तो सोशल मीडिया पे रहता है. वो एक आम बात है. लेकिन हमें चिल्ड्रन के साथ एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग बनानी है, एक उनके साथ कम्युनिकेशन बना के रखना है. उनका भी रोल है, बच्चों का भी रोल है कि वो कंस्ट्रक्टिव कम्युनिकेशन हमारे साथ बना के रखे. लेकिन हमारा रोल ज्यादा है. हमारा रोल ऐसा है कि अगर हम उनको टाइम देंगे, आजकल आप लॉकडाउन में हैं, क्राइसिस में हैं, तो ज्यादा टाइम दे पा रहे हैं. even though some people are saying we are even more busy than before because of online classes and this and that. ये एक बहाना है. मैं जानता हूं और मानता हूं कि बहुत बिजी हैं आप, मैं भी बिजी हूं, लेकिन फिर भी ये बहाना होता है, वो लाइफ लॉन्ग बहाना होता है कि मैं बहुत ही ज्यादा बिजी हूं यार, मेरे पास टाइम नहीं. ऐसी चीज जो है वो हमें अपने गिरेबान में झांकना है. हमें सोचना है कि are we really that busy that we don't have time for our own kids? They will grow from 5 to 15 to 25 in a flash. You won't even get to know. My older one is now 25, and this is something which is remarkable because suddenly she's grown. And what happens that these years they need our communication. They need us. They need us to spend time. जितना हम उनके साथ टाइम स्पेंड करेंगे उतना ही वो हमें रिस्पेक्ट भी करेंगे, उतना ही वो सोचेंगे कि मामा पापा ने हमारे साथ ये टाइम स्पेंड किया, चाहे कुछ भी कर रहे हो. स्पेंडिंग मोर टाइम विद योर चिल्ड्रन इज वाइटल. एज दे ग्रो दे नीड यू, स्पेशली टुडे. देयर आर सो मेनी सोर्सेज, एज आई सेड, ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन, conflicting kinds of forces and vibrations. वाइब्रेशंस भी बड़ी एक इंपॉर्टेंट चीज होती है जो कई बार हम इग्नोर कर देते हैं. कई बार हम किसी जगह जाते हैं जहां सडनली हमें नेगेटिव सी वाइब्रेशंस आती हैं, और कई बार हम किसी जगह जाते हैं जैसे मंदिर गुरुद्वारे में जाते हैं या किसी रिलीजियस प्लेस में जहां पे कंस्ट्रक्टिव सी वाइब्रेशंस, अच्छी वाइब्रेशंस आनी चाहिए. तो क्या होता है कि हम घर में भी उसी तरह की वाइब्रेशंस लाएं. हम किस तरह से सोच रहे हैं, ये भी एक वाइब्रेशन की बात है. अब आप कहेंगे कि सोचना भी मना है. सोचना मना नहीं है, लेकिन हम अपने ऊपर अगर कुछ गलत सोच सोच के जेलसी वाली बात, नर्वसनेस वाली बात, फियर वाली बात करते रहेंगे तो हम अपनी बॉडी की हेल्थ को भी खराब करते हैं, हमारी बॉडी के सेल्स भी खराब होते हैं. सो आई ऑफन से दैट फियर, वरी, these are not our friends. And the saint said that worry is a brake. You are on the journey of life and you are applying the brake of worry. If you are applying the brake and pressing the accelerator of your life at the same time, how will you move forward? You cannot. You'll be a jumpy, jerky journey, it will be. So your worry has to be minimized by controlling your thoughts. And controlling your thoughts will come if you win the battle of the mind. So if we talk about grown-ups, grown-ups should be calmer than children. Children in the teenage groups are okay. It's okay if they're restless. They're running, they are excitable, they want one thing after another. They cannot sit still. But grown-ups, can we sit still in 30, 40, 50, 60 years of age today? A few of us can't. So let us find time to sit still. Let us try find time to calm our senses and calm our minds down. I often tell the story of a pond. There is a village pond which is totally still, and the reflection of the moon is clearly visible in that pond. If you throw a stone into that water, the water is rippled, and the reflection of the moon is also rippled. So, what happens there? It becomes disturbed, and you cannot see the picture clearly. So, what should we do? Our mind has to be calm in order to see the picture of life clearly. And if it is calm, then we are able to take decisions rightly. Often we say things in a rash moment. कुछ ऐसा बोल दिया जो 40 साल तक फिर दीवार आ गई भाइयों के बीच में. ह्यूमन बीइंग है हम, कर देते हैं गलती, लेकिन कितनी गलतियां करेंगे? हमें अपनी थोड़ी सी उत्तेजना को, अपनी एक्साइटेबिलिटी को, अपने गुस्से को, अपने जो भी हमारी इमोशंस हैं उसको थोड़ा बहुत तो रिस्ट्रिक्ट करना पड़ेगा, कंट्रोल करना पड़ेगा. जैसे हमें पता होता है कि हमें इन लॉज के सामने कोई बात करनी है या नहीं करनी है, पेरेंट्स के सामने करनी है या नहीं करनी है, बच्चों के सामने करनी है या नहीं करनी है. वी नो इट. Sometimes, despite knowing it, we don't control our tongue and our language and our emotions. So if we can, then we win the battle of life. We are able to see the picture clearly. We don't say those things which are going to hurt us later or hurt other people. So parents especially are leaders. And if parents are leaders, then leaders have to show leadership qualities. Leaders are not only political leaders, some of them are not. We have to be stable. We have to be good parents, calm parents, progressive parents, positive parents, constructive parents, and parents who are thinking rightly for their children, not overindulgent, not overdoing it, balancing your lives, being what you should be, trying to set an example. This is the way forward. So these are the things that matter. A couple of more points. The first point is that the children of today are under more different forces than before. Online classes were not there when we were growing up, no doubt about it. And tomorrow, their children will have gadgets and things which may be even different. So today, we ourselves have to understand the importance of the human experience versus too much technology. Too much technology in our lives and too much technology in our children's lives is counterproductive. हमें उसको थोड़ा सा कंट्रोल करना है, उसको काबू में रखना है. टेक्नोलॉजी या स्मार्टफोन को हमें अपना बॉस नहीं बनाना है, उसका बॉस हम रहें तो ठीक रहता है. तो हमें कैसे कंट्रोल करना है? डिसिप्लिन, सेल्फ डिसिप्लिन, and then children will also follow. They may not follow easily, but they will be better. Sports, as I said, is a great idea. So these children of today have this unique force which is impacting their lives. That is the force of technology. And that is making them busier than we were as growing up kids. We would read books after books. Children of today, if they are reading books, their lives become more balanced. They become better conversationalists. उनकी जो नॉलेज बैंक है वो बढ़ता है, उनकी डेप्थ ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग अबाउट द वर्ल्ड वो बढ़ती है. जितनी बुक्स आप पढ़ेंगे, बच्चे पढ़ेंगे, उससे आपकी और उनकी नॉलेज और पर्सनालिटी इंप्रूव होती है. मैं कई बार एक ग्रुप में जाता हूं या कहीं बात करता हूं तो जो बच्चा या लड़का लड़की कोई किताब पढ़ता है उसका एकदम से पता चल जाता है This student is a reader, not only reading the books of the school or college, but reading autobiographies, reading fiction, reading non-fiction. Very, very important to read books. And it is a sad story. वो कहते हैं कि आजकल जो शूज हैं वो ग्लिट्सी शोरूम्स में बिकते हैं और किताबें पेवमेंट में बिकती हैं. आप दिल्ली चले जाएं, कभी ऐसा ही होता है वहां पे, यहाँ भी शायद होता है. तो क्या होता है कि हम किताबों को थोड़ा सा और महत्व दें. आपके घर में 100, 150, 500 किताबें जितनी भी पढ़ी हुई हैं, वो किताबें जो हैं वो पढ़ लीजिए एक बार, और बच्चों को भी कहिए वो पढ़ लें. हमने बहुत सी पढ़ी हैं, और मैं कोई आपको ऐसा नहीं कि मैं कोई बहुत पॉम्पस होकर ये बात कह रहा हूं कि मैंने वर्ल्ड की सारी किताबें पढ़ी हैं. ऐसा नहीं है. मैं बहुत कोशिश करता हूं कि मैं ज्यादा किताबें पढ़ूं, नहीं पढ़ पाता हूं, लेकिन कोशिश करना हमारा फर्ज है. और अगर बच्चे ये हैबिट अडॉप्ट कर लेंगे, और फिर वो देखिए उनकी लाइफ कितनी मीनिंगफुल होती है. और मैं तो इंकरेज करता हूं बच्चों को अपने क्रिएटिव स्किल्स में राइटिंग भी लाइए. राइटिंग का मतलब है कि राइटिंग स्किल्स, एक्सप्रेसिंग योरसेल्फ creatively in the written word. How you can write an essay, a short story, a kind of critique, a book review, poetry, English और हिंदी. इंग्लिश, हिंदी, पंजाबी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. आपकी जो लैंग्वेज आपकी फेवरेट है, जिस लैंग्वेज में आप कंफर्टेबल हैं, बच्चे कंफर्टेबल हैं, उसी लैंग्वेज में करना है. ये भी बहुत बात आती है कि बच्चे को इंग्लिश नहीं आती, हमें इंग्लिश नहीं आती. ऐसा भी कुछ नहीं है. मैंने आईएएस में लोग देखे हैं, मैंने और जगह भी लोग देखे हैं जो सिर्फ हिंदी में बात करते हैं, अच्छी बात करते हैं, अच्छा लिखते हैं. हिंदी में बात करना और हिंदी में अपने आप को कंडक्ट करना पूरी जिंदगी बहुत अच्छा रहता है, पॉसिबल है. इंग्लिश अगर आपको आती है और अगर हम यूज कर रहे हैं इंग्लिश, तो हमें ठीक से यूज करनी है. वी शुडंट बी यूजिंग वर्ड्स विच वी कांट अंडरस्टैंड, और वी शुड नॉट बी इंडल्जिंग इन इनकरेक्ट यूजेज. जैसे एक कॉमन सी बात, छोटी सी बात बताऊंगा. एडवाइस और एडवाइस में कई बार हम लोग कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं, ग्रोन अप्स भी. फ्यू और अ फ्यू में कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं. इफ वी आर टू यूज इंग्लिश, देन लेट अस यूज इट प्रॉपर्ली. अदरवाइज यूज हिंदी, पंजाबी, एंड यूज इट वेल. सो एक्सप्रेशन, द रिटन वर्ड, द ओरल वर्ड, द वे यू कम्युनिकेट is vital for children, and they will improve their communication skills if they read more. And if they watch videos also, yes, today they can watch good videos, and videos which are giving them more knowledge, more information, more points to improve their personality. Also very important. So in a nutshell, if we talk about the fact that parents and students have to be in communication with each other, it's very, very important. I'm going to be taking some questions after a while. So you can type your questions on the chat box which is there. I see a few of them already. So I'll start answering them. But just to sum up my vaktavya, I would like to say that parents and children have to be strongly in communication with each other at all times. If that communication breaks, please restore it patiently. Parents have to be patient with their children. Children have to be patient with their parents. You are in one team. The parents are the leaders, the children are the followers. One day the children may become the leaders and the parents become the followers. That also happens, and there's no harm in that. Parents are the happiest when their children outshine them. My father said that to me. He said a father is the happiest when the son outshines him. So we should indulge that much effort and time in our children as is required. We should carry out conversations with them. We should speak constructively in front of them. We should read books in front of them so that they get into the habit. We should not try to fib or lie or say incorrect words or sentences in front of them. We should set the right example as parents. And we should try to minimize our own stress and our own worries and fears by being balanced, calm, and collected in our mindsets. ताकि हम बैलेंस्ड इंडिविजुअल्स बने और बच्चे भी हमारी तरह बैलेंस्ड इंडिविजुअल्स बने. और क्रिटिसिज्म और ये बहुत ज्यादा किसी को क्रिटिसाइज करना, नेगेटिव बातें करना, दुखी होना पढ़ पढ़ के अखबारें, और उसको टीवी न्यूज सुनते रहना, इन चीजों को थोड़ा सा कम कर दीजिए, मिनिमाइज कर दीजिए. कंस्ट्रक्टिव हैबिट्स, क्रिएटिव हैबिट्स, हैप्पी हैबिट्स. अल्टीमेटली द गोल ऑफ लाइफ इज हैप्पीनेस एंड नॉट सक्सेस. Success which is without happiness is not happiness. It is not complete. So please focus on the happiness of your lives and your children's lives. Right? So I have a few questions here. Surbhi Sarna says, Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to you. Nagesh Gupta says, excellent. Thank you, Nagesh. Anupama Mahajan ma'am says, I agree, setting positive examples for our young children mold their personalities for all times to come in their lives. Thank you, Anu ma'am. Baldev Pandey ji says, अभिभावक अपने बच्चों की प्रतिभा को कैसे पहचाने, कृपया इस पर रोशनी डालें. How can parents identify the hidden talents in their children? I agree with you. Sometimes the children take time to display their talents. Your question is valid. Sometimes children come up with surprising creativity in art or music, which you didn't know they had, or sports. So give them time, be patient. And when the optional activities in school come, tell the child to take what he really wants or she really wants. I'm sure that in a balanced way, the child will show. Some people are not creative to that extent. Somebody wants to become an accountant and doesn't want music or art in his life, it's okay with me. But if they have some creative element in their lives, when you are a chartered accountant and you also go nature photography, तो आपकी लाइफ बड़ी जबरदस्त है. उसके बाद कुछ ऐसा भी करना जरूरी है. Try to find out. Okay, I think this is Pankaj and Sonali are saying how to motivate the kids, those who do not study. Yeah, so ये पुरानी एक प्रॉब्लम है कि बच्चे पढ़ते नहीं हैं. बच्चों को पढ़ाने के लिए जोर से बोलना पड़ता है, गुस्सा करना पड़ता है. I think incentive is better than disincentive. If children are getting good marks, encourage them. If they're not getting good marks, then tell them very firmly. Firmness is better than anger. Firmness का मतलब है हम अपने कंट्रोल में हैं और हम अपने इमोशंस को कंट्रोल करके उनको समझा रहे हैं firmly. So firmness is good. I think that will help a lot. Motivate the kids. Show them good documentaries, videos of inspiring people. Watch कौन बनेगा करोड़पति. Don't watch Big Boss. मैं तो आपको यही कहूंगा सोसाइटी को, बिग बॉस जैसी चीजों में कुछ नहीं रखा है. कौन बनेगा करोड़पति देखिए, उसी टाइम आता है शायद, जब भी आता है सीजन में, और अच्छी चीजें उनको दिखाइए. कपिल शर्मा शो देखिए, हंसते रहिए. Constructive, whatever is constructive, very relevant and effective. Oh, thank you, great webinar, thank you. What do you visualize the transitions in today's human relationship, inviting introspection and adjustment? Yeah, a lot of time has to be spent. You see, in today's era, we don't have enough time for each other. We are running around. The only time we have time is the lockdown. And this has come जबरदस्ती. ये कोई अपनी चॉइस से हम लॉकडाउन नहीं हुए. तो आया है, तो इसमें टाइम और जितने दिन है स्पेंड करिए अपने एक दूसरे के साथ. वो चीजें करिए जो नहीं कर पाए. पुरानी एल्बम्स निकाल के देखिए, 25 साल 20 साल पुरानी, उसमें कुछ यादें ताजा होंगी. अच्छी क्वालिटी टाइम स्पेंड करिए. दैट इज पोएट्री, प्लेइंग अ लिटिल लूडो और समथिंग, और सम गेम्स टुगेदर. मतलब फैमिली टाइम वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Okay, thank you, Spreha. Mr. Pandey says, how could today's parents having more sense of proportion while dealing with their children to prevent unintentional atrocities on them? बड़ी जबरदस्त सवाल है आपका. Unintentional atrocities हो जाती हैं. It is important that children are telling their parents if they met someone who was new, and young children are nowadays also being taught the good touch, bad touch kinds of things. It is important to have a balanced communication mindset with the children all the time. Mothers especially are very good at it. And on Mother's Day, I must praise the mothers. I mean, हम जो आदमी लोग ये देख रहे हैं इस वेबिनार, उनको मैं कहूँगा मानना पड़ेगा कि जो लेडीज हैं ये ज़्यादा इवॉल्व होती हैं. उनका पर्सनैलिटीज उनकी मल्टी डायमेंशनल ज़्यादा होती हैं. इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस थोड़ा ज़्यादा होता है और सेंसिटिव भी ज़्यादा होती हैं. तो उनको दाद देना चाहिए. They should be able to understand a little better. Mr. Sharma is saying, my son is 3 years old, has just joined JPA Toddlers. Very good. Thank you. Please tell what age the child starts writing and reading. This is a technical question. I think you can visit the school and ask the principal. And I'm sure Mrs. Nina Atray will be happy to tell you. Karan Vora, I mean, after the lockdown, of course, not before. Mr. Karan Vora is saying how to increase the concentration of kids towards studies. Yeah, that is something I often tell even people who are aspiring for UPSC or IAS exams. I tell them, if your concentration is not more than 10-20 minutes, then make a target of 20 minutes. 20 minutes आप बैठ के पढ़ें, उसके बाद 5 मिनट आप पानी पीजिए, कुछ भी करके आइए. Come back in 5 minutes, sit for another 20 minutes. So in these small installments, you will study more. अगर आप बच्चे को कहेंगे चलो 2.5 घंटे बैठ के पढ़ो, वो बीच में उसका माइंड पहुंच जाएगा एडिस अबाबा और फिर पता नहीं वापस कब आएगा. सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू have a very focused approach rather than a long up time. It's not a test match. It has to be focused. Thank you, Raj, and thank you, Karanji. Thank you, Pandeyji. Thank you, Sonali. How to keep the kids busy in the lockdown? Uh, I think when the kids are full of energy and you are at home, they will get irritated and want to do more. Maybe it's good to do some physical exercise. As I said, activities which involve physical activity. Then they get tired and go to sleep on time. अदरवाइज वो रात के 2 बजे तक उछलते रहेंगे, आप कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे और टेंस भी रहेंगे. Okay, then we have Manuji, thank you. Mr. Sharma, how to remove mobile while eating, as he doesn't eat without the mobile. If the 3-year-old doesn't eat without the mobile, then you have a problem, because a 3-year-old तो आप फिर भी कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं उसकी लाइफ को. आप उसको अभी से सिखा दीजिए कि ये मोबाइल नहीं. और मेरा ख्याल है थोड़ा सा फर्मनेस चाहिए, ज्यादा गुस्सा भी नहीं. उसको थोड़ा सा इंसेंटिव दीजिए कि जब आप मोबाइल के साथ नहीं खाएंगे तो आपको ये स्टार मिलेगा. एक कॉपी होती है जिसमें स्टार्स लगा सकते हैं. कुछ बच्चे जो बेड वेटिंग करते हैं उनको भी ये एक हैबिट डॉक्टर्स बताते हैं कि बेड गीला कर देते हैं, तो उनको जिस दिन वो गीला नहीं करते अगले दिन उनको एक गोल्डन स्टार चिपका देते हैं कॉपी में, तो फिर वो बच्चे को अच्छा लगता है और फिर वो जो भी उसको साइकोलॉजिकल इम्पैक्ट होता है. इसी तरह उसका मोबाइल वाली बात आप रिमूव कर सकते हैं. Thank you, Sonali. College kids who do not attend online classes. All college kids who do not attend online classes, there are ways to make them interact. So I am also holding webinars and lots of them are on YouTube. What you have to do is to make them interact. So after 10 minutes, you ask them, अच्छा चलिए अब जसदीप आप बताइए. Okay, now Sumita, you tell me this one. So college kids अगर वहाँ है ही नहीं तो वो कैसे respond करेगा? तो ऑनलाइन क्लासेस को इंटरैक्टिव बनाइए, मेक देम आंसर क्वेश्चंस आफ्टर एवरी 10 मिनट्स, क्विज करिए, को गेम्स करिए, देन दे विल स्टे ग्लूड, बिकॉज देन दे रियलाइज कि मैम को पता चल गया, मैं है नहीं. एंड देन यू कैन मार्क देयर अटेंडेंस एट द मिडल ऑफ द क्लास और द एंड ऑफ द क्लास. Mr. Balramji says kids are more interested in online games and they want to spend more time on that. We have to control them by giving them, as I said, sports has to be a part of their lives. If they spend time playing outdoors, they will be physically tired, go to sleep on time, and less on mobiles, social media. And of course, you have to inculcate discipline in the children. Over pampering is not going to be good. You have to be firm, but not angry. Anger management parents को करना है. अपना गुस्सा खुद मैनेज करना है हमें. अगर हम 10 बार गुस्सा कर रहे हैं एक दिन में, उसका कोई असर नहीं है. आप 10 दिन में एक बार गुस्सा कर रहे हैं, उसका असर है. तो दिस इज अ ह्यूमन एलिमेंट. यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड योरसेल्फ. आप ऑफिस में भी जाके देखिए, 15 बार गुस्सा करिए एक दिन में, लोग कहेंगे ये तो ऐसे ही गुस्सा करता रहता है, क्या फायदा है उसका? सो बी फर्म but in control of your emotions. I think that if you tell your children like that, they might understand. Thank you, Pravinji. Neha Bhatia ma'am is saying there is a very thin line between being firm and getting strict. Can you please share positive ways to explain to kids? Yeah, there's a thin line, but then we are intelligent human beings. We have to walk that thin line. Being firm and being angry is different. There's no doubt about it. So when we raise our voice, when we can't control our temper, we know it. And children also know it. But if you have a personality which is firm, which I found to my advantage, that people didn't take me lightly, but I never had to shout. So you have to basically, in your career or in your home or wherever you are, you have to balance your firmness with gentleness and not go overboard. Okay, Pandey ji, Sari Dunya mein, thank you very much. Karan Bora ji, thank you. Manjula ma'am, leave them alone for some time. Yeah, Professor Manjula Sharma is here. She's adding that leave the children alone for some time. Let them be creative. Let them do what they want to do. And it's absolutely true that they will probably come back with better results in whatever they do. But from time to time, keep in touch with them. Jyoti Manta ma'am, thank you. Sangeeta Popli, thank you. Jaykant ji, great session. My daughter is 5 years old. The schools are very different in teaching as they used to be, very less burden of studies and more extracurricular activities. Is there any role of parents to balance? Yeah, parents have to spend time with their children. That is the most important. And TV time is not family time. TV जब चल रहा है या अपने अपने फोन पे सब लोग लगे हुए हैं, वो family time नहीं होता है. फैमिली टाइम तो वो होता है जब बातें कर रहे हैं आपस में, या कोई गेम खेल रहे हैं, या कोई लंच कर रहे हैं, उसमें भी फोन नहीं है, टीवी नहीं है, तब ठीक है. तो दीज आर द काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स. Thank you, Yukta ma'am. Thank you, Vandana ma'am. Vandana ma'am is saying, how much should we be friendly with our kids, especially boys? Yeah, you have to be parents, but you have to be friends. That means you have to balance that aura of being a parent. यानी कि आप स्ट्रिक्ट और फर्म भी हैं लेकिन वो फ्रेंडली भी हैं. यही तो बैलेंस है कि हाउ यू कैन नॉट बी aloof and away, but you are still approachable. You are not too much strict and you are still approachable. That is how things are to be. Mr. Bhatia says school bags for junior classes weigh young children down physically. Requirement of rote learning. That's right. That's the education system, and I agree with you. I have written on that even today in the Hindustan Times. But we are talking about parents here. So parents are not to blame for that. Let's hope things get better. Thank you, Shipra ma'am. Thank you, Pandey up. Vivek ji, thank you very much. Thank you. Anchal ma'am, thank you. Pallavi Goel says how to make kids engage in socially with other kids. Yeah, it is important to be social. It is important that children are able to carry out conversations. आजकल conversation skills थोड़े कम हो गए, listening skills कम हो गए. Two-way communication involves listening as well as speaking, pausing, and not looking at your phone when somebody is talking to you. I think it's important for you to do that. How can we understand and practice integrity? Values have to be inculcated. As I said, not crossing the red light, not telling the kids something wrong के बेटे ऐसे बोल दो उनको, ऐसी चीजें नहीं सिखाएंगे तो values अपने आप आ जाएंगे. Thank you, Shani ma'am. Thank you, Anuradha ma'am. Thank you again, Mr. Pandey. Manju Sharma ma'am, thank you. Okay. Sunita ma'am, thank you. Vandana ma'am, thank you. All the thank yous. So I think we are at 12:40. It's time to wind up this session, and thank you all for joining. I think the website of JPA Toddlers World School is given at the bottom of the screen. You can see it. You can go there and have a look at the website whenever you feel the need for more information. And it is nice to be in touch with you through this webinar. Parents of Panchkula, Chandigarh, or wherever you're watching from, all the best to you. And I'm sure we will be through with this lockdown soon and life will be very happy. And it is even now. Take it as a positive opportunity to reflect and improve your life. Thank you very much for watching this webinar. All the best to you. Jai Hind.